Phrasing.
Have you ever been in a Turkish prison?
Hey, it's Geek Public Radio right here on geekpublicradio.com. The podcastest with the mostesses.
Okay.
So what is up, everybody? Yes, we're back. It's been a minute, but, you know.
We did take a little longer than we intended to for January's update. We're still going to call this January, since it's only just, we're not even 4 days into February yet. We'll put another one out here in a couple weeks.
Well, what happened is we had a lot of stuff going on. Of course, with the holidays, we did do some stuff in December, but everything caught up, and we're trying to get things moving with the station and with other ideas that we have, and Well,
and then the biggest thing was I had an episode there for a little while. I had a little bit of a flare up, so I wasn't able to get out and get with Topher and get another one done. So we can go ahead and lay this one on me because my back is made out of paper mache. And cold weather does not.
And
agree.
Cold weather sucks.
Yeah.
So first off, I want to talk about we had a game. We did game.
And we're going straight into
we're right to the jugular.
Yeah.
That's all there is. Folks.
Yeah, boy.
And Sir missed a lot.
Nice. He wouldn't be a dwarven paladin by any chance of it.
We have figured out that he needs the bard in the party in order to hit.
I think it just prorates itself. No, I'm serious, man, because when she was there, and we had the bard, I still wasn't hitting for shit. I mean,
so tell him the story. Let's
which one? I mean, there are so many stories.
This weekend,
you want to hear the Gen Con story?
Let's just talk about what this latest one. And then we can go back and illustrate how this is an ongoing game.
You're going to have to help me here because there have been so many times. I mean, pretty much any game that we play, I don't hit. So it all kind of runs into a blur for me.
He hit twice in the entire
the whole
game
yes,
session.
I hit twice. And it happened after I got pissed off.
Yeah, and
threw the dice down.
And then you got happy. You're like, hey, I hit.
And then I missed again.
Right off the bat, rolls a 1.
I apparently I need to be the Incredible Hulk when it comes to rolling dice. I just need to get pissed and throw the dice at the table, and then I'll roll maybe.
Well, and it's like we were doing the start of the thing. You're like, oh, I rolled a 1. Okay, roll it again.
1.
I rolled a 1.
2 natural ones.
All right.
In a row.
All right, so a lot of people they do the fumble, like you rolled 1 and you fumble. No, I make you check it.
Mm-hmm.
That way, because if you roll high, then you don't have to worry about it on your second one. So you're like, okay, well you just do this and maybe you lose a turn. You lose the rest of your action. So okay.
When I rolled that second one, I knew somebody was going to die.
Well, you rolled
I
pulled the fumble chart for what you were doing because you were shield bashing, and it didn't turn out that bad.
It didn't. I mean,
you kind of got a stinger out of the shoulder for
I was just happy to still have the arm.
That was definitely one of the things. If you were to roll like a little bit higher,
yeah, I am the dice cursed out of this group. I mean, that's just a given. I mean, that's why when we play, I just hope for having the best cinematic moments, the most memorable. I try to play into it because I know when the stuff hits the fan. Yeah. I can't hit. I mean, I don't count on making saving throws. When it comes to like spells or something like that, I'm like, well, if I don't just intuitively know it and can say, yeah, it happens. If I got to roll for it, I don't even bother.
What I think is funny is the very first game, you didn't have to worry about combat,
right?
Because they were fighting over here. And they were fighting over here, and you were running back and forth.
Yeah, I couldn't even get to the combat. Like something would pop off, I'd be like, okay, well, I need to go over and help them. So I'd run over there, and I'd get over there just as soon as they end it. Well, something happens behind me. Well, shoot, turn around. And run. So I'm like a pinball.
As soon as you make it back, like the dwarves defend over here and like kill all the stuff, and like it's like okay, there's more coming here. Like screw it, I'm sitting down.
Yeah, I'm like I'll just sit here. Something will come around eventually.
But yeah, Sir Miss-a-Lot cannot hit to save his life ever.
And it's been that since. It's been like that ever since I started playing.
The Bard gives him a +5 to hit and all that stuff.
Just means I miss it by 5 more points. That's all it means. I'm telling you.
I look at him and go, dude, you're facing a drowned. It has high hit points, but the AC is like 19. So all you have to do is roll. And I counted up all this stuff and said, you have a +6 to hit and a +1 on your shield bash. So you have a +7. 13 or better. Or, 12 or better.
Yeah.
And I said, all you have to do is roll 12 or better.
11. 10.
1.
Yeah.
But just think about that, though, now. She starts singing when you go back to face them as everybody turned tail and ran because everybody was beaten to death by a bunch of drowned undead.
Yeah, because I couldn't hit nothing.
So you guys run into there with the Bard singing whatever. That means you have less than, let's do the math, with a 19 AC. Knock 5 off of it right away, so there's 14. And then you make your 6 off of there. That's
8.
7 or better to hit.
5. 4.
1.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you know that nice new shield you just got? Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. Oh, your armor? Yeah, no, it's gone too.
Yeah, it's you made it through. You survived. Your armor, your breastplate falls off, and everything else is toast.
The next game, I'm going to be missing digits. I'm sure. I'm sure.
But yeah, so this is one thing that I wanted to just start off the day talking about was so this isn't a new thing. This isn't like this campaign. Like he's just having the rough time with the dice.
No, I think it's a birthright, to be honest. Because ever since I started playing, back when, me and you and Schmidt and Doug were playing, it's been that way. I mean, I went to Gen Con when Gen Con came to Indianapolis the first time. We played, it was Seventh Sign or something like that. It was like a Angel and Demon on Earth game, and the guy that designed the game was there. He was the game master. We were in an event, and he was
Seventh Seal.
That's it, Seventh Seal. And we started. We played the game. He'd explained it to us, and we started rolling a first roll. And he just stood there, and
when the guy who created the game go, huh?
Yeah, he stood and he looks at me, and I'm like, yeah, that's. I was like, so do you want to explain to me again how this grace thing works? And you should have seen the look on his face. He's like, I have never seen that happen. I mean, theoretically it's possible, but I never would have thought. And my buddy Tony jumps up, and he looks, and in like a grandmaster kind of way, points his, aims his hands at the table like Vanna White present a vowel. And it's like, witness my friend's curse. I'm like, yeah, so explain this grace thing to me. And it was a fun game. I mean, I get used to the fact that I just don't hit nothing. The dice doesn't work with me.
Works again.
Yeah, explain this grace thing to me again. I know I got to roll some more die, and I got a couple or 3. I didn't get killed that round.
That round?
Yeah, that round. Because it's just a matter of time.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's been games, we ran when we were running, what was it, Battle Lords, I think is what he was running, and I got shot in the junk. Yeah, in one of them like Coliseum games, got shot right in the lower abdomen, as the hit location called it, and it flashed up on the little thing that I was in. It says unit damaged. Like, yeah, thanks. So.
You think?
Yeah. It's just, it's just I still enjoy playing. It's a good time. It's just that, as far as like, everybody goes out, anybody that plays for combat or they enjoy the dice part of it, they get way more out of it than I do, because it's like, are you going to roll something? Okay, let's see how bad this sucks.
No.
It's just like, you go into the night, like, most people when they go to a game session, if they know pretty much what's going on. They're like, well, I want to do this, 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 and this. And I come in with, I hope I live through it. I just want to last, if I just want to be able to survive till the end of this game match, or until the end of this session. Or I want to provide a good time and a hilarious, exit. I just hope if I go out, it's memorable and it's saving somebody else, because that's about, and I think that's a very paladin thing to do. And that's kind of why I stick with, paladins, Templars, things like that, because, it's just an easier mindset to get in.
I am good.
Yeah. I
not good at it.
I'm not good at it, but I'll hold the line. Y'all go ahead and take off. I got this.
Hold the door.
See, yeah, I'll be Hodor. Y'all just go ahead. This is what I was built to do. Yeah. So,
question is what are some of the other, because I've been there for stuff where your dice finally decide to support you.
Yeah.
At the most inopportune time.
Right.
And you finally roll a 20 when you're just trying to backhand a guy to get him to.
Yeah. I have a habit of wasting those natural 20s unintentionally.
Yeah, well,
I don't get them that much anyway, but when I get them, it's something that winds up screwing me in the long run. Because
but again, it's cinematic,
it is. It was a great cinematic moment. Here's this. We were playing, I think it was Pat's D&D game, and just wanted to, we were getting the horses and getting ready to leave. The stable guys there, and something was going on. He was losing his mind. And I just kind of wanted to, smack him into reality. He's kind of, just wanted to, like you see somebody on the movie.
As you do.
Yeah, you slap them, and they're like, oh, sorry, pull it together, man. Well, again, paladin with like a humongous strength and a natural 20, and I forgot that I still had my gauntlet on, and I killed him when I backhanded him. And then now you got to follow me here, okay? Because I had a logic for what follows after this. Because immediately, as soon as that happens, everybody, it's just dog pile. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe you done." Okay, so these like wolves and stuff are coming, and I'm trying to rationalize what a paladin would do. Like, oh my god, I just accidentally killed this, just totally. And I think I just, for whatever reason, I jumped straight to, well, at least maybe then he can have a decent. He can have a decent burial, it was an accident, because I don't want the animals that are coming to defile the body, or, yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to, I was really reaching.
You were panicking.
Yeah, I was. It was almost a full-on panic. So I knew these wolves were coming, and I didn't want them to get to him. So I put him up in the rafters of the stable so that the animals wouldn't get to him. And then I immediately get accused of murdering a guy and trying to hide the body. And then somehow the stable catches on fire and the whole thing burns to the ground anyway. And, we go on and off. But, yeah, I rolled a natural 20 on something that all I'd wanted to do was connect. It didn't matter. It just winds up screwing you in the long run.
Right. You're like, so you do double damage to a farmer.
Yeah. It's just standing there in, peasant attire.
It was almost 20 points of damage.
Yeah,
to a peasant.
It was a one-shot kill.
It's like 0 level farmers only have like 4 or 5 hit points or whatever.
Yeah, I could have killed his whole family with one backhand then. And I'm glad nobody was standing next to him, because they might have caught it. I guess, really, I probably ought to be glad I didn't knock his head off. But, no, there was that, and then... we've had some Dark Conspiracy games, and we've had some...
My favorite Dark Conspiracy thing goes back to the Jim Hill head dice. And him fighting Mike Tyson in the restroom.
That is the single greatest game of Dark Conspiracy I've ever played. Because, number one, I actually made most of my rolls, which is just, it's a once-in-a-blue moon kind of... Actually, watching the news, blue moons happen more than... I get, good nights on the dice.
So it was like him and Hump or him and Woody?
It was...
Because, I think it was Hump.
I think it was, too.
Their idea was they're going to try to infiltrate this thing. So they're going to go in...
600 floors of the North Tech Tower.
Yeah.
And we needed to get to the top floor where those Ravagers were. But we didn't know they were Ravagers at the point.
Right.
and we needed to go up through all the 600 floors, and it was Mick was there too.
Mm-hmm.
It was me and Mick.
It was the very first Dark Conspiracy game I ever ran.
Yeah, it was.
And it ended up being one of the most memorable ones because of the stupidity that happened.
Well, we're like, well, how are we going to get up there? I think a couple of us were dressed kind of like or maybe we were dressed like something else. But anyway, we get into the building.
You had I think it was Hump and Jim decided they're going to go in the bathroom and try to lure guards in, ambush them, take their uniform, and then move everybody.
Yeah, because I think me and Mick already had uniforms or we already worked there or something. And then
Hump's just sitting in the stall or whatever, and I'm rolling dice to see. He's like, okay, guy walks in, uses the restroom. He's like, okay, I'm waiting until he's like midway through, and then I open the door and I just knock him out, drag him into the stall.
Yep.
Okay, so he rolls and everything goes great. He called shot head and the whole 9 yards. He rolls, everything works, drags him into the thing, and okay, Jim's like, I could do this.
Well, he did to begin with because he got the change of clothes. It was when we were going up because those key cards only worked for so many floors, and we were switching key cards, wasn't it?
No, it was his first.
It was the first one.
That's
okay.
why he was walking through looking like he had a fight with Mike Tyson because he literally walked.
That's right, because we had to get a helmet for him.
Because he's in here waiting for his turn. I'm rolling. I said, "You guys waiting for like a couple minutes," and then another guard comes in, uses the restroom, and I said, luck of the dice saying, okay, we'll let this go. We'll let this go through. And Jim, okay, I'm waiting until mid thing, and he steps out and misses. And the guy spins around, peeing on him the whole time. And I roll, okay, look, he hit you.
And before you could roll hit location, didn't Tony say like, wait a minute, I have a dice for that?
Yeah.
And he give you that, and it's not a loaded dice.
No, and
it is cursed.
It literally, anybody else, it'll roll random.
Yeah, it's totally random. But for Jim, it hates Jim.
Yeah,
it rolls a headshot every
shot.
time.
So it was like, jacks him in the head for 6 points of damage. It was like, okay, he swings and misses again. Jacks, I hit in the head. I think it was like 6 times. He was almost near blacking out.
After the second time you rolled that, he was like, he's trying to crane and look like, I think he's messing with me. And I'm like, you start like, no, look, hey, it's every time you rolled, it's
even afterwards, they were like, no, you guys are messing with me. And I go, no, I'm, roll hit location on Jim. And I flipped it out on the desk thing, and it rolled a 1. And he was like, "No!"
Well, what was crazy was that time you flipped it out there, and it landed, but it didn't.
It didn't land straight. It landed a corner.
Yeah,
and it went,
then it went on a corner, and then it teeters back over to the headshot. It's like it was gonna. Here's some false hope for you, Jim. Oh no, you're getting hit in the head again anyway. I was like, oh my god, I've never seen that. So
he finally gets the guy subdued.
Yeah. Well, he was a point away from blacking out.
Right, yeah. He was,
because the rest of us had to run in there.
Yeah, he finally gets everything, gets the uniform on. His face is black and blue, and because he only took shots to the face. It literally was like, a vivid photo shoot or whatever, how many shots to the face he took. It was like, I thought this was like Japanese porn,
we had to,
because it was a boom and the boom and the boom and the boom. He come walking out like missing teeth, like, hey.
We had to get a helmet to put on him so that he could pass through the security cameras, alerting him.
And then, who the heck picked the guy up? Come out of that guy.
And then we had, and then those key cards that were on the guys. Yeah, they'd only take the elevators up so far, and then you had to switch out key cards to go to the next elevator set, and so
because it was only like the elevators wouldn't go all the way up because no elevators ever that tall a building. So you go up, you move over to the other elevators, and you go up, and it only works for so many. Like each guard has only one bank of elevators.
Because that's what he was assigned to.
Yeah,
so he didn't really need to go anywhere else. But after that, then.
I think it was the third floor change. Ended up you guys in the middle of a firefight in front of the elevators. Like you guys come out, the other guards come around the corner or whatever, and you're like, like we'll get him, whatever. And then all of a sudden, like next thing I know, I'm just running the game, whatever. Next thing I know, I'm rolling dice, and somebody does something silly. and it's literally a firefight from one corner to another corner. Like people were leaning around shooting and doing a whole.
I think we had Mick to thank for that one, because I think he was to the point like, well, I'm done with him. I'm just going to drop him. And
it worked for Jim.
Yeah. And then, but before we got up to that where that firefight happened at, we were stuffing bodies up on the top of the elevators.
Yeah.
And then we had the problem that once the elevator got to its max height for floor, we were like, squeezing. I'm like, okay, we can't
fit anymore.
I don't know how many bodies wound up being on top of elevators in the North Tech building, but
all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Every guard
we're shoving them the thing. I was like, okay, if you push too many up there, it's gonna juice them.
We're like, it's okay.
It's like, is that ketchup?
Yeah. But there was a lot of craziness in there with them firefights, and we got up to the top, and then the Ravagers showed up, and we wind up blowing up the building and jumping onto a helicopter, and it was.
What's funny is when you actually figured out what was going on in the story, like after you guys moved through the Nortec building and all that stuff, and you stopped what was going on in the Nortec building, and you went to go actually after the main bad guy, you found out he was just paying these women off and secretly impregnating them with his clones, so he can use the spinal fluid or the
stem cells
to keep himself alive.
Yeah, we're like
to search for a cure or whatever.
We're like, technically, I don't think this is illegal.
And it was like after you did all of this stuff to bring it to an end, then everybody stopped in the whole ambiguity thing, going,
Yeah, it's like, is this wrong? And I think didn't Mick shoot the guy?
No, you let him go.
Did we let him go?
Everybody let him go and like sulked back and went, I don't know what.
I don't know why we just went through all that.
Well, because it all started off, people were living in the Proles, and when one of the thing was, reported, something happened, and she went to the doctor and it had all signs that she had a baby.
Yeah, that's right.
But she doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
And it started out like an X-Files episode.
Yeah, that's right.
And ended with a Law and Order episode.
Yeah.
But what's funny is everybody remembers the middle because it was all this.
It was nuts. It was a great game.
We got to the middle. I got to the end, and everybody's like, "Are we the bad guys?"
Yeah, we're the bad guys, guy. Well, there's been so much. I mean, sometimes the dice, my dice hate me. We've had them blessed, so we'll see how they perform here next week.
Oh no, we're going all out.
You gonna have them exercise too?
We're going all out. The room is going to have cold iron on the walls, which we have up here.
Yeah. So
no fairies will get into none of the fae folk will get into the electronics and
just the ones we let in.
Yeah. So
when are they getting here? Here in about.
So the idea is, we're going to hang some of the weaponry on the walls.
Yeah.
To give, to ward from the Fae, and we're going to smudge that whole room. I'm calling the Catholic Church down the way.
Get some Jesuits down. And a young priest and an old priest.
Come through and bless that room, and don't let anything in. We're basically I'm going all out, putting like warding sigils on underneath the desk or underneath the table. On your end of the table, it'll be a no mojo zone.
Yeah.
Everybody else who hits all the time will be angry because there will be random again.
Yeah.
But no mojo zone.
Well,
anything.
Well, and then
I'm digging up through old like ancient books and stuff.
Get the old Viking runes and carve them in and stuff. Yeah. Well, it was what was it last week when was it last week or whenever we just had the game last weekend, wasn't it? Or was it 2 weekends ago?
2 weekends ago.
So 2 weeks ago, after the game, Jim wanted to see if it was the polarity because I was at a different end of the table.
What's funny about that is I handed you my dice, and you're on both ends, and you rolled hits on my dice on either side.
Yeah.
And I kept looking at it going, it says polarity, whatever. But I said he was rolling bad before. He just didn't have the +5 from the Bard.
Yeah.
That's the only difference, I said, but then you started rolling my dice and started rolling, 19s and 20s and 17s and all this stuff. And
I blew right through my allotment of 19s and 20s for the rest of the year, and it's only January.
Well, that's when I looked at you and said, we're going to the danger room, and I'm going to buy you new dice. And they will sit on that shelf down there without touching your other dice. And these are be the dice that you use from now on. After I defunk of your negative mojo, then maybe we've even discussed like maybe giving trying in the course of the adventure giving you a +3 weapon just to give you an extra oomph to try to help you with hitting, like where you literally if you were facing a drowned you would literally only have to roll better than a 1.
And then I just roll 1s. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative. It's just my experience with it.
I'm just trying to help you. When you don't hit,
everybody suffers.
Yeah. Well, you guys split the party too. All the tanks go down, and all of the DPS go through.
Well, now you say we split the party, but I told everybody where I was going. Everybody else decided where they were going.
The moment you all started fighting together, you walked through.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
It just happened to be like you were almost dead. A couple other people were almost dead. The rogue had 4 hit points left. And everybody was just like hurting. And you're like, oh, we just, back to the ship, retreat.
But
which means you'll have to march through all that stuff again when you come down with the full group.
Yeah, and I imagine we'll probably go through that a little bit easier and quicker because, I didn't break my shield, so me and Pat can just link up and, and do it the way that it should be done anyway. But,
then you have more people behind you that can chuck, ballistic weapons.
Yeah.
So.
But we've got, even in Cthulhu, I've had trouble with rolling. I mean,
and that's percentile dice.
Yeah, I mean, and you want to pick ugly dice for Cthulhu anyway, because it's like,
I spent the extra money. I got a set of Cthulhu dice.
Yeah, but
when you roll a 1, it has the elder sign on it.
Yeah, that's fitting. I mean, I don't know how many times I've blown sand or just
F an Indian.
Yeah, dang Indian puts that ash mark on your head, and you
can see
you see a Nyarlathotep in all of his glory.
Well, were you playing when the guys met Steve? Do you remember the campaign the first Cthulhu campaign that I ran, and we ended it at the truck stop. It was a whole Egyptian adventure with the Lost Pyramid and all that stuff, and we got all the way and finished it like at the truck stop one night, and everybody turned to me, well, that was better than I thought, because it was like the second game ever that I'd ever ran.
Was that the one where there were Chthonians in it?
There was a dimensional shambler that was outside the pyramid, and you had to defeat him and then stop Set from being summoned inside as the cultists were inside trying to summon. As Set was coming through, you finally knocked them all down.
I think I remember that one.
I ran the group that we have now. I ran them through that as the very first thing that we did, and they let the little kid out. And that was one of the things that you guys really liked and when I first ran it was you guys first time finding the temple and you're walking through and you're doing all this stuff. There's a little Egyptian kid with a ball. I mean, he's bouncing against the...
Okay, the ball, the kid bouncing the ball. Now I know. Yeah, okay. I might not remember the particulars, but I know I was in that game because I remember that kid.
It's like, why is the kid in here bouncing? And I had a rubber ball with me.
Yeah.
And we started playing it at my apartment, which was there by the movie theater.
Yeah.
So I was sitting here running that scene. I have a tennis ball.
Yeah.
I'm bouncing it against the wall, like floor to the wall, catching. And
yeah,
so
it was annoying. That's why I remember it.
And I was just sitting here like doing exactly what he's like. I'm going to get out of here soon, and all that stuff. Well, he gets out. Whatever. They come back and they meet Steve, the swarthy Egyptian guy.
Yeah.
and he's sitting overlooking this thing, and the guy and Jim sits down next to him and says, "Hi, what's your name?" He's like, "You don't want to know my name." He's like, "Can I call you Steve?" He's like, "Sure, call me whatever you want." He's like, "So who's your boss?" He's like, "I'm not sure you want to meet him." And he goes, but he goes by many names. He was like, "Oh, I would love to meet your boss."
Oh my God, Jim. Well, Jim was new to Cthulhu, wasn't he?
No.
No? Okay. No,
And he's like, he's just looking at him amused, and he's like, "Yeah, talking monkeys." And he's like, "Well, yeah, no, I'd totally love to meet him. Like, can you introduce me or whatever?" He was like, "Yeah, we can make something." And then, like, he touches the back of his head, and like he gets the far shot where his like vision zooms into the outer cosmos and all that stuff, and you see he looks upon the face of Azathoth, the nebulous form that is. And I look at him and go, "Roll sand." He makes it.
All right.
He and as much as I was like, really, it's only a die 10 sand loss, and he lost 2 sand. We just happened to be on top of the 15 that he lost, like right prior to
before.
that. Well, like, so it was enough to he went. And all of he got one of those derangement things where all of the bad people looked like children, women and children. So like they all look innocent. So he's like, "Oh yeah," and he looks perfectly fine, doesn't miss a beat. They go into the thing, and they can walk it in, and all these cultists around summoning Set and this, that, and the other, and everybody charges in with guns. He like starts knocking guns from people's hands, like, "No, don't, no," thinking that everybody's like trying to shoot these innocent women and children. Until he takes a shotgun round to the butt, thanks to my wife rolling poorly and missing her what she was intending to shoot at, and shooting him in the tuchus. So he goes down, and they proceed to take out all these evil cultists with.
Was it really a miss?
Yeah, like she totally blew it. Like, and I gave her another chance, and I said, "Who's in what way?" And everybody came out. Like Jim was like right in front of her, which is the 3rd time she's shot Jim because she missed, and he happened to be in front of her. So just think, you may not be able to hit, but at least you're not shooting party members or getting shot by party members.
That's true. But
So.
I mean, I've rolled like crap in Cthulhu before. That one. And
you got booisms.
The one,
yeah. Is there just one? Like just one of us, or do you mean one at a time?
Yeah. You mean just one of us, or one at a time, or?
And she's like, "What? How dare you!" And he dodged, and he's like, "Ha!" And she hit him with the second one, turned him to stone.
Ha ha!
So he's
Bam.
stuck like there, like with his hand out, like "ha ha" with a boner.
That's the.
It's for your
because
hat.
it was she was
hat.
she was like a tantric sex witch or something.
Yeah.
But no, that one game where I wound up with the crazy, we called him the crazy
Have
Indian.
you played the World War II
was,
yet?
Yeah, we started the Octoon Cthulhu.
Yeah,
because I'm the British.
Yeah, you're the guy. It was your first.
Yeah,
that's yeah.
And then, but the guy was Paul Arms was his name. Paul Arms, and he's the one that I lost in Wilmot.
Wilmot.
Yeah, he's still there somewhere, roaming around.
At least you didn't turn into a deep one.
Right. And then there was a guy. I don't even remember his name. What my character's name was. We were playing in one of Tom's. I think it was. Yeah, it was. It was the guy. He was I think it might have been one of the incarnations of Flynn Taggart, but he was a archaeologist or professor or something. I kind of based him kind of like Indiana Jones, and I got possessed or under the influence of
Nyarlathotep.
Yeah. And I wound up taking a minigun. Well, I stood in front of a minigun, and they shot it. I got shot, and I was like, okay, so I ceased to exist in a fine pink mist. And Tom starts laughing. I was like, okay, so I start handing my character sheet over. He's like, oh, no, I'm not done with you yet. He's like, you go ahead and keep that. You're going to run the NPC for me. I was like, He's like, yeah, we're not done with you yet.
That's my favorite saying. He's like, I'm not done with you. Yeah, then it was when Pat was like, we were talking about posting on the group, whatever, and Pat was like, he won't let you die. I said, why would I let people die? They don't learn anything.
Yeah.
Now,
I've already learned that I can't roll for shit. So
looking out the mirror, licking the window while singing the battle or humming the battle hymn Republic, while naked,
But
there you learn something.
I don't know what that'd be, but okay.
It tastes like glass.
But yeah, the moral of this whole tangent has been that I can't roll for crap.
Yeah, so we 35 minutes of just stories of you not.
Well, you know what? We'll just go ahead. I'm sure we can fill another 10 minutes, and we'll just make that this one, and then because the only other thing really that I can think of that's happened is Stan Lee's in the hospital.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So he was having difficulty breathing,
something like that. Yeah, he was having some difficulty, and then they went ahead and took him to the hospital or something. Went to the doctor. I'd have to pull it up and look at it. But anyway, he went, and then they checked him out, and he was okay. So then he come back, and like a week goes by, and I just seen the other day that he's back in the hospital. But they announced last night that
everything's okay.
He's stable. Everything's okay. I'm just thinking Stan Lee's like 95 years old.
Yeah, right.
And he ain't going to last much longer. I mean, he still gets out and does stuff. I mean, I'm not no ill will towards a man at all. And I know
that's one thing that's one that'll hurt. Like like a lot of the celebrity, it's like, oh, that sucks, but that one would be one that's like.
My hope, I just hope, and by the grace of God, the dude gets to live long enough to see the entire Infinity War movies made and released and see the reactions. If he can last that long.
Well, the next one out is Infinity War, isn't it?
It comes out. It comes out in May or June, maybe July.
I think we're getting close.
Yeah, because I think it's May, and then the one after that comes out. Is it next year or a year
they normally do one a year.
One a year, yeah. Well, I know they just released Black Panther. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of people say it's good. And then
I'll be honest.
I guess we're getting a Captain Marvel movie now.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Marvel to start pumping out some of its newly reacquired lines. Like actually doing a Marvel Fantastic Four.
They just picked up
Marvel X-Men.
They just picked all that up, and they're looking at it now, trying to reassess whether they're going to reboot the X-Men.
Well, you kind of have to because it's now.
You do, but you don't. I mean, it could be real kind of funny because now I think the next.
If you want to bring them into the MCU, I think you need to bring them in.
But here's how you get around that.
On their own.
Here's how you get around that because I have heard that one of these movies that just come out. And I don't think it's Thor Ragnarok, and it's not Black Panther, but one of them that's either just now getting ready to come out or has just come out is going to introduce the multiverse. So it can still be in the Marvel Universe.
Should be like New 52 versus,
no, I mean, it could just be different, different Earth,
Right. Well, I thought, I know that's
New 52, that's DC, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
I thought New 52 was DC.
Yeah, that's DC,
okay.
Yes. But,
slap yourself.
Well, yeah.
Slap yourself. Do it right now. No, really do it. Don't clap above your head. Punch yourself with my hand, numbnuts.
No, but I know what you're talking about because they reboot all the time. They get to an end of storylines and they're like,
yeah.
They did that with the Captain America.
Yeah.
And this is when like the new storylines and all that stuff with the Cosmic Cube and whatnot messed with their minds. Whatever. Now he's Hydra.
Yeah, and then they reneged on that too.
Well, so the last time like they said, "Oh no, it's just because of that," and then like somebody else walked in and like stuck their foot even further in my mouth. Like, nope, it's always been that way.
And
like,
now and the reaction from that was, they've reneged on the whole thing. Oh well, it was because he was under influence of this, because of that, and none of that's really real. And it was.
Well, my son. I got grief for it because I posted. I said as soon as it happened, I said my son was a big Captain America fan. He had like Captain America posters all over his room.
Mm-hmm.
He had all covers of the comics and stuff, like framed along the thing, and he had a big shield and all this stuff. As soon as he found that out,
tore it all down, threw it away.
He was like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." He's reading this stuff, and he just walked in, grabbed everything, and threw it in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "You don't have to go that far." He's like,
I'm done.
And he's not picked up a comic since.
And I don't blame him. I mean, because there comes a point when somebody's done, they're just done.
I tweeted it, and I said, "You want?" And they were like, "Oh no, that's not. That didn't happen." I said, "You go talk to my teenage son."
Yeah.
Because when that first came out, he's 19 now, but you look, so he was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
When that first started this stuff, and he was like, "I'm done." No.
Yeah.
And hasn't he turned his back on comics completely?
Well, and I think what they need to do is they need to sit back and they need to look and think before they do some of these lines, because when you have a character that's supposed to be as wholesome and good as like Captain America is,
mm-hmm.
If you turn around and make it show that here you've got this character that he's really this whole other way. Mm-hmm. Now we're making it look like. Everybody's susceptible. You're making him vulnerable in a way. He's supposed to be the pinnacle.
Right.
And now you're making him just like everybody else. It kind of, maybe in a way, like, takes hope away from people. I don't know. you see where I'm going with it? Some things ought to just be left the hell alone.
Right, and it's like, I don't know. It was just one of those, he just finally was like, I'm done. And he walked away. But I got grief because I relayed that story.
Oh yeah, because then now if you or I do it, it's just hating.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, But I'm gonna tell you what, it's not an isolated case because they reneged on it. They saw a drop in sales.
Well, yeah,
they knew that they screwed up.
Well, it's like when the Fantastic Four, when Fox did the new the reboot Fantastic
mm-hmm.
Four, and there's so much hate. Like the only thing that they could do, that Marvel could do, was cancel all of the Fantastic Four line, all the merchandise, and so there's no merchandise.
Yeah,
there's nothing. There was no support for the movie because they like we'll jazz it up, we'll do this and we'll do that, and they're adopted now, and this, that, the other, and they're all about the same age, so everybody, it's like, no, Reed Richards is an old guy, older, that's why he's got the white on the temples and the.
Yeah, he's borderline robbing the cradle with Sue.
Right,
that's
the way it's all. If you look through, you can't you can't meddle with too much stuff because the guys who grew up on it. Yeah, they're like, but that's not what we. It's like no, but you got to stay true. Now, if in the comics, you start making changes in the comics, people will grumble, but people will move and go on and
because at least you've got a basis to say, okay, well,
and then people are like, well, why didn't anybody complain with Samuel L. Jackson as Fury?
I did until I saw the performance.
Well, I watched. I was familiar with the Ultimates, which they patterned the Ultimate Nick Fury after Samuel L. Jackson anyway. Yeah. So
I knew the old Nick Fury. Now, I didn't realize that there were many Nick Furies.
Yeah.
Until, later.
Like I said, the Ultimate, which is where a lot of the Avengers stuff, if you look at Cap's uniform and outfit and the whole thing, that came from a lot of inspiration from the Ultimates.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Universe. You had Ant-Man or Giant and all that stuff.
Wasp and Ant-Man. That's the one you mentioned.
Yeah,
that's the one that's going to show the multiverse. That's what I'd heard. It was the one that is going to show the multiverse. And I didn't really. I knew they were making it, but I didn't really know you didn't hear nothing about it. And hell, it's coming out in April, May.
Mm-hmm. So, but no, I enjoy. I've seen all of the previews for it. And,
Yeah.
you know, but
I've seen enough Thor Ragnarok on YouTube now. I want to see the movie. I wanted to see the movie
hey,
anyway.
I know
but,
that guy from work.
Yeah.
Well, if you come over one day, we'll get it on demand, and that way we'll all sit down and watch on one of the 17 big screen TVs I have down in the entertainment room.
If I can get my Fire Stick updated soon, you know, I'll just watch it on that. I'll still come over and watch it. I mean, I don't care.
Well, it's about that time.
Oh,
we are going to cut it short, but the B team's here.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I hear a Yeti down there squalling,
And,
wanting a Chewbacca.
I have to.
Oh, you got a refill?
No, I have to repay the loan. You only borrow beverages. Then you got to give them back.
Yeah.
So it's about that time. I hope you had a great thing. It's been 45 minutes of listening to
Us complain about how I roll dice.
Well, no, you complain. I'm just reveling in the fact of like, oh my God, I can't believe. I remembered it, but until being refreshed in the glory that is your suckage.
Yeah. I am dice cursed. You know, I'm the guy they made that meme about.
So
or meme or whatever the hell they call
meme.
it. Yeah. I'm still
Or my wife calls it a meme.
Meme.
Meme. So I'm Topher.
A Little Sonny.
And we will speak to you again here soon. Good night.
Good night.